It's episode 1 on the RV Noobs channel. This one is titled, Where Do We Even Start? What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1 of the RV Noobs channel. What is noobs? Well, noobs is short for newbie, which is slang for somebody who is brand new to a community, and we are definitely brand new to the RV community. But real excited to get to episode 1 of this channel. I'm the Stoner. Don't get crazy with that name. It just so happens that it's a play on words of my last name. So my wife and I decided to start this channel as we wanted to document our journey from noobs all the way until at some point we become experienced veterans of the RV community. If you didn't get a chance to check out our welcome video, please do so. You'll kind of see the background of what we're doing here, how we're getting this whole thing started, and what we hope to do with this YouTube channel. If you like what you see, if you've seen the welcome or this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other members of the RV community so that we can get connected to those who are already a part of this community so that they can help us. Maybe we can help you all, even though we don't know anything yet. But it's just kind of our way of documenting this amazing journey that we're about to start on. So this one is titled, Where Do We Even Start? And look, I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating when I say we don't know where to start, that we are complete noobs to this community. We have never, ever in our life been in an RV while it's in use. You know, we've been in RVs or campers or trailers or whatever, but we've just never been used one for camping or for tailgating or for anything like that. But at some point within the last few years, and I don't know, maybe it's in people's DNA, when you get to a certain age and all of a sudden you just say everybody has something that clicks in their brain, maybe it's been sitting dormant in there until you hit like 50 years old, and then all of a sudden people say, I want to go RVing. I want to go check out the rest of the country, or I want to just go experience life on the road with some sort of RV. And that happened to us. And we just kind of clicked and we said, you know what? This seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. But we don't know anything. And we didn't know where to start. So hopefully, if you are watching this, that you'll leave comments and let us know if the things that we talk about, maybe we're going down the wrong path. Or maybe you have some tips, or maybe you have some information, or maybe you have some referrals to people. Let us know other channels that are out there that we can watch. And we've been doing a lot of research, but we obviously haven't seen everything. So we could use everybody's help by just commenting on this video or on our page, wherever, the RV Noobs, as we go on this journey. So what we thought might be the first logical step for a couple of people who, again, have zero clue, have no idea how to kind of get into this community and get what we want to then become a part of this community. We thought the best thing was we would go to an RV show. That kind of makes sense, right? So obviously there's a lot that one of these shows can offer. So what we did is we went to the Maryland, I think it was the Maryland RV show, or maybe it was just called the Baltimore RV show. I think it's the Maryland RV show. Can't remember. I'm going to put some graphics up though so that you can see exactly what it was called. And it's held, I think, twice a year at the Maryland State Fairgrounds in Timonium, which is only about 25 minutes from where we live. So we thought, okay, let's go there. Let's just kind of soak it all in. And I would think that you would need a game plan when you go to an RV show, because it seemed like everybody who we saw there had a game plan. So we came up with a game plan, but our game plan was very generic. Our game plan was soak it all in. We didn't go there with any sort of plan to buy anything or even to narrow it down or to only look at certain things. We just said, get as much information as you can, as we can, and then sort of take it back with us and just start breaking down all of that information. And again, I'm not sure that that was the best game plan, but that was our game plan. So let us know. Maybe you think there's a better game plan, and maybe we'll end up going back to the next one before we get too deep into the RV community. And you might have some tips there. But there were some observations that we had for this particular RV show there in the Maryland State Fairgrounds. First of all, the biggest sort of observation that we had is it's just overwhelming with RVs. As crazy as that sounds, I couldn't believe how many RVs they had. And this was an outdoor event. So it was on the whole fairgrounds. And it was just RV after RV after RV of all kinds of, and forgive me if I'm getting some of the jargon wrong, but there were drivables, there were fifth wheels. I think I know what a fifth wheel is now. There were pull behinds. There were just pop-up sort of pull behinds. All kinds of trailers and RVs and I don't want to say Winnebagos because that's a brand, right? But the big, massive, huge drivable ones, the smaller drivable ones, the conversion vans that we saw there. And so it was very overwhelming to just kind of soak in all this information, because when we got in there and we start talking to some of the dealers, of course, their questions are very specific. Their questions are, what are you looking for? What size? Drivable or towable? What brand? What you want slide outs? We had to figure out what the heck slide outs were. All of these things. Are you buying now? Do you want to buy new? Do you want to buy used? And seriously, we couldn't answer any of the questions. All of our answers were consistently, we're not sure. So that part was a little bit intimidating, because the sales folks there were extremely knowledgeable on everything. But all of it was just way over our head when they would start ask questions. When they would say, do you want slide outs, or how many slide outs? And, we looked at each other and we were like, what is a slide out? We've since learned what a slide out is, but at that time we had no idea what they were talking about. So it was just kind of overwhelming with RV after RV, just going 100, maybe 120 different ones throughout the fairgrounds. And that overwhelmed me. But here's a couple of thoughts I had on what they do at these RV shows like that. First, and I know this is never going to happen, but from a customer standpoint, what I wish that they would do, the way they would set it up, is that you would go in and then you would start with like all of the small ones, all of the almost like the pop-up campers, and then all of the 17 to 22 feet, and then all of the 23 to 28 feet, and then so on, and then all of the small drivables, and then all the conversion vans, and then all the big giant ones. And I know that won't work for them, because they're doing it by dealers. Each dealer has their own set of RVs that they're showing you, so that wouldn't make sense to them. But for me, for example, or for us, if we would go look at something, let's say it was a 32-foot fifth wheel, and we went and took a look at it, and we were like, well, that's cool. Here's this feature and that feature and all. And then, well, let's compare it to another fifth wheel of a different brand. And they might have one other brand there that was very similar. But then to see other brands, a lot of other brands, you got to go to all the different dealers. And they're like way down there. They're a 10-minute walk to go see that one. And then you forget what you saw, and you got to go all the way back. And that's just for that type of RV. And so then if we want to look at a drivable, a 32-foot coachman. Again, forgive me if I'm getting the terms wrong. But it would be nice to be able to look at a 32-foot coachman and then look at a 32-foot fill in the blank of another brand, Winnebago, and then a 32-foot of another brand. But you can't do that. And so it was hard for us to compare. Again, that's just me. They can't change that, because then they would have dealers, two different dealers standing right next to each other. And if you got out of one, then you would be going to a different dealer. And obviously that's not going to work. But just from a consumer standpoint, it would make sense if they would do it that way. But obviously they're not going to do it that way. Now, another observation that we had is when you go in there, a lot of people, and I'd say probably most people, they came in knowing exactly what they wanted to do. They knew exactly what they were looking at, what they were looking for. They have these tents. The dealers have these tents, and it's just filled with people signing paperwork and all that. So is it true that at these RV shows that there are really good deals to be had? Because for me, what I've always, I'm in my 50s, right, mid 50s, and I've been around long enough to understand how most sales work. And sales are, they jack up the price and then put a huge sale price, and you feel like you're getting this great deal, when in fact, you're just getting the original price anyway. And I don't know if that's true in this case or not, but it seems like people do just kind of wait around for these RV shows just so that they can go and make their actual purchase of their RV. I don't know if that's true. That's just kind of my observation. The next thing, and maybe the biggest thing at these RV shows, is all they had was RVs. And for me personally, I don't think my wife felt the same way. My fellow noob felt the same way about this. But why don't they have booths or tents or whatever with reps from all these different types of accessories for RVs? Like they had probably 10 to 13 different dealers out there, right, that were representing their RV company. And so that's why there was just so many. But they didn't have a single, no, actually, let me take that back. They had one single vendor that was selling bicycles. And then they had a couple of food trucks there, food and drinks. One vendor that was selling bicycles. And I promise you, there wasn't a single other vendor there. Why wouldn't you have somebody who's there selling camping gear or shelving for inside, or custom building of an RV or a van, or somebody who just sells all the things that people like to have in their RVs, curtains and towels and bins and toolkits and water hoses. And I could think of 1,000 different things that they could possibly have, that this would be a great place to have them, because everybody is there kind of in that same world. And I also thought that, if you saw all this cool stuff, maybe they got backup cameras, and maybe they got levelers with apps. These are things that we've kind of seen on YouTube. The things you put under the leveling jacks, the plates or whatever they're called. I'll get to know the terms. Don't kill me here. But what if they had all of that there that you could buy? And that sort of gets you kind of in the mood. What if they had chairs for outside and portable fire pits? I don't know. I could think of 1,000 different things that people would want to buy if they went to one of these shows and they saw them. And they had nothing. What about a guy who is there, who's like a woodworker, who creates those cool signs that you would hang up on your camper that you see, or that you would put into the ground that says, the RV Noobs house since 2025, whatever. People get those, right? Why wouldn't there be a guy there taking orders for people who are buying brand new RVs? And he could take orders and make those for them. I didn't get that. Why they didn't have all of these. Because look, we've been to a bunch of boat shows, and at these boat shows, they have all that stuff. They have everything there. All of the accoutrements for your boat, or in this case for your RV. Why wouldn't they have all that stuff? Bike racks, grills. I don't know. I could think of, again, 1,000 things. Anyway, I guess I'll end that rant to just say I was surprised that they didn't have that. But overall, I think it was a successful experience there at the RV show in terms of just garnering information and bringing in as much as we can. When we left, we didn't have any better idea of what we wanted to do, but I think we did narrow it down to and get rid of some things that we did not want. Okay? We decided we didn't want one of those giant RVs, those motorhomes. I don't know the difference why one's called a motorhome and one's called an RV. You're probably going to tell me, and you're probably going to laugh, but hey, we're noobs if you haven't figured that out by now. But there are, we got rid of that. We got rid of fifth wheels. It's just too big. It's too big. We don't need anything that big. I don't have an experience driving one of those or the connections that it needs and the understanding. Too much. So we've eliminated that. And I think we've also eliminated kind of the small pop-ups. So we're somewhere in between there. And I think there are other factors that we have to consider. But after doing all that, we thought that that was a great start. You can let us know if that was a great start or not. But I think we have narrowed it down to either a drivable in the less than 30-foot range, or a towable or a travel trailer. I think I got that term right. Probably less than 26 feet. Because again, I don't have a ton of experience. I've pulled trailers, small trailers, I pulled jet skis, but I don't have a lot of experience with it, and I don't want our first one to be something that is overwhelming and too large that it's going to cause any sort of issues or any stress. We don't want stress, right? And one thing that we learned in the past is, or what people have told us, is that you want to buy your second RV first, meaning usually your first one, you end up wanting to upgrade to something bigger within just a few years, and you're going to lose money by doing that, obviously. But I don't think we're going to do that. I get the concept. I think we're going to start small and kind of go from there, but we haven't fully decided. We need input. We need people to watch this and to share it and to refer to us, other people, and to like and to subscribe and to comment and let us know what you think that we should be looking at. We've narrowed it down to, like I said, under 30-foot drivable and probably under 26-foot travel trailer. I think that's what we've narrowed it down to, but we're not 100%. We got nothing. We got nothing at this point, and we're just trying to figure out. So appreciate everybody who has come by to check out this channel. It's a lot of fun so far. All the research that we're doing, the creating this channel has been fun. I don't know that there's a whole lot of people watching or sharing or anything like that, but hopefully it'll catch on because we want to get into this community. And what's better way than to put this out there and have people let us know what they think is the best action. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share this video to all your friends. This is the RV Noobs channel. We appreciate everybody that's been there, and we'll see you on down the road. Let's go figure out what's next. This has been episode 1. Looking forward to episode 2. Let's go.